This practice allows you to create flexibility in your shoulders as well as strength. We'll do a variety of poses. We'll be on our belly, we'll be standing in a variation on sun salutes, and of course, we'll be supine and enjoy a nice shavasana. Let's begin. Come to a standing position as you're ready. So as you make your way to a standing position, you can have blocks and straps if you wish for your practice. With your eyes bright, with your arms engaged by spreading your fingers. Inhale, reach your arms up and slightly back. Exhale, take your arms alongside, just down to the pelvis. Just sweep your arms up again to just open some room in the upper chest. Today we'll be doing a lot of shoulder work. Exhale, release your hands down. And one more time. Inhale, sweep your arms up, reach up and back. Exhale, take your hands down. You may have noticed that we're doing several things in Cactus Pose. Notice how the hands want to go forward and the elbows back. So as we do these things, try to take your hands back and your elbows slightly forward, and just notice the difference there. All right, let's continue. Inhale, reach your arms up and slightly back. Exhale, come down to the earth as you place your hands right alongside your feet to step your right leg back. Balance yourself in a high lunge, so take your hands right up to your knee and pause there. Take your arms in this cactus pose, like I was talking about. Twist, and as you twist, just draw your elbow toward your knee and place your hands right in front of your heart. So the elbow doesn't have to be parked on the knee. Just allow yourself to come to a twisting action with your hands in this prayer position. Release your hands down to the floor and step back to a plank position. In plank position, lower yourself to the mat. On the in-breath, draw your heart forward. And exhale, soften. Two more times in Cobra. Inhale, lift yourself up with your hands pulling in toward the midline of the mat with the elbows pulling in. Exhale, soften. And one more time. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, soften. Come through all fours position to downward facing dog. And pause in downward facing dog. Walk, step, or hop your way to the front of the mat. Place your hands to your low back with your knees bent. Root down to rise up. Sweep your arms up and slightly back. Exhale, come to the earth with your knees bent. Step your left leg back. Take your hands right above your knee. Balance yourself first. Take your arms in this cactus pose second. Open your chest. Have your elbows draw forward. Now take your left elbow toward your right knee. If you'd like to, you can take your hands in this prayer position. You can have your elbow on the knee or off. Just come to this twisting action. And release your hands down to the mat. Come to a plank position again. Lower yourself to the mat. In breath as you reach your heart forward. Exhale, soften. Come to all fours position and downward facing dog again. Pause here. And as you pause, receive the in-breath and the out-breath as if you're trying to elongate both cycles of the in-breath and the out-breath. Let that out-breath be kind of this way of uncluttering the mind, as if just kind of doing a little spring cleaning of the mind. You're just letting the thoughts go so that the more you take the breath in, the more this creative power just sort of takes hold. It's very invigorating, very rejuvenating, the in-breath. But you have to make room for it with a long exhale breath. Now make your way up to the front of the mat again. Place your hands to your low back and rise up. Inhale, sweep your arms up, reach up and slightly back. Exhale, come to the earth again. Place your hands alongside your ankles to step your right leg back, to step your left leg back, to come to a plank position and lower yourself down to come to a Sphinx position with your forearms down, with your fingers spread. Press your forearms down to reach your heart forward so you open the chest nicely. So as you just kind of slide or isometrically move your elbows back toward your feet, you feel this nice opening of the chest here. Keep that. Tuck your toes under. See about lifting your knees up. Now lift your pelvis up as well. So come to a plank position. And as you hold the plank position, keep hugging the elbows in toward each other. Keep that action of the arms really solid. And slowly lower your pelvis down, your knees down. Same thing. Pull the forearms toward your feet isometrically with the fingers spread. Let your heart just kind of soften down toward the earth, but reach it forward as well. So you get this nice opening of the upper chest. And tuck your toes under again. Lift your knees up, lift your pelvis up, lift your belly up. Pause here. Whatever form of the pose you have, just allow yourself to just get a little bit more fullness. And slowly take your knees down, your pelvis down, your heart forward again. And slowly come to a Cobra Pose. Take your hands alongside your ribs. Now with your heart nice and open, reach your elbows toward each other as you reach your heart forward. Exhale and lower. 2 more times. Inhale, rise up. Exhale and soften. And 1 more time. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, soften. Now let's play with the cactus pose that I was talking about. If you've got your blocks, grab them, place them wider than shoulder width apart, and place your palms on the blocks. Place your elbows on the floor. You can park your forehead on the floor as well. I'm not going to do that because the sound gets all muffled when I do that. But with your hands pressing on the blocks, I've got the blocks in their lowest position. So with your elbows pressing on the earth, with your palms pressing on the block, draw your forehead to the mat and lift your hands up off the blocks. Keep spreading the fingers, lift the hands up. Pause there. And notice how one hand feels like it's so much easier to get off the block than the other. Place your hands back to the block. Pause here. And as you pause, just kind of receive nice in-breath and out-breath. We'll do this 2 more cycles here, just kind of getting to know the shoulder action a little bit better. So inhale, lift your hands up off the blocks, hold there. Keep on holding and lifting up higher. Just notice what shoulder seems to be just a little bit more engaged. Keep lifting the hands up off the block. Release your hands down. Soften. And now turn your head toward your right elbow as you lie down, just so that you can get an easy neck stretch. Inhale, come back to center. Just press your forehead down. Lift your hands up off the blocks. Keep them lifted. See, now that you've done this a few times, if you're going to lift them even higher with the fingers spread so the arms stay active. Keep them spread, keep them lifted higher. Exhale, take the hands down and turn your head so you're looking toward your left elbow. And pause there. And you start to notice these little idiosyncratic aspects of the shoulders. And just to kind of park those as information, not clutter in your mind, just so that you know how to customize the practice a little bit more fully for your body. Come back to the center position, press your forehead down, place your hands right alongside your ribs to prepare for Cobra. On the in-breath, hug the elbows in and lift yourself up. Exhale, soften. 2 more times here. Inhale, lift your heart up and reach it forward. Exhale, soften. And 1 more time. Inhale. Just notice where in the shoulders that action of hands on the blocks start to affect the shoulder action. And release down. Come to downward facing dog and pause there. And as you pause in your downward facing dog, you may want to just pedal your legs to just kind of work a little bit more awareness from the pelvis down to the feet, maybe pedaling the legs. And as you're ready, step your right foot forward to come to a high lunge. So lift yourself up, just take your hands right to the knee, balance yourself, have your back heel lifted, drop a little closer to the mat with the front thigh, interlace your fingers behind your back now. Press your knuckles to your low back and hug your elbows in, and exhale, draw down toward the knee. So you just kind of pause here as you draw down. Lift your interlaced fingers up toward the sky as the heart reaches toward the knee. And inhale, lift yourself up. Now keep balanced as you reach your right arm up, your left arm back, and just open your chest really nicely. And windmill your arms to take them down to come to downward facing dog so that we could trade sides. So pause in downward facing dog just for a breath or two before taking your left foot forward. Balance yourself as you take your hands to your knee and rise up. Take your arms behind you, interlace your fingers, maybe the opposite way that you interlaced your fingers the last time. Press your knuckles to the low back, hug your elbows in, draw your heart down toward your knee. Keep a nice steadiness in the legs. Lift your interlaced fingers up toward the sky. So that nice balance action as well as a nice shoulder action. Inhale, lift yourself up, free your arms as you reach your left arm up, your right arm back. Let the right arm just slide on the back leg as you open up nicely. Exhale and take your hands down to the mat. Step back to a downward facing dog again. and pause. And as you just come to know the breath, know how the breath just helps you you just let the thoughts just drift away as you take your attention to your body, to your breath. Come to a plank position. Lower yourself slowly to the mat. And once you're on the mat, come to lie on your back. We won't be going into our full supine positions yet, but we're just going to take a little break here, lying on our back, to work on the core muscles here. So as you lift your legs up in the air, have a slight bend to the knees. We're not twisting here, we'll be turning completely. So your sternum, your breastbone is facing toward your feet now, and it will continue to be facing toward your feet as we do this practice. So reach your right arm out to your side, have your palm face down on the floor. So your palm is pressing. Have your left hand just by the solar plexus there, just slightly below the ribs there. Now, with your feet engaged, so you're spreading your toes with your knees slightly bent, draw your feet over to the side and let your left shoulder lift. Now you're holding your pose by pressing down through the right hand. Right hand presses so firmly as the feet come closer and closer and closer to the floor. You're really engaging your core muscles there, and you can feel it with your left hand. Now let the feet go all the way down. Again, you're lifting your outside shoulder so that your sternum you can just follow the action of the feet. Now inhale and lift your feet back up. Extend your left arm out and have your palm facing down. Have your right palm again in that solar plexus area. Lift your legs up. Bend your knees slightly with your toes nice and engaged. You're really using your left arm now as your right shoulder comes off the mat. So your whole torso now is following the direction of your feet. As you get closer to the mat, it's a lot of work on your arm, a lot of work on your shoulder. You're really engaging the core muscles as you draw your feet closer to the hand. Keep that action, and slowly take the feet down to the mat. So there might be a little quivering going on there as you get closer and closer to the floor, but you're really engaging your core muscles and you're engaging that extended arm. Inhale, lift your feet back up. Extend your right arm. We'll do this again with your right palm facing down, your left palm just kind of checking in to make sure you've got a strong engagement in the core muscles there. With your toes spread, take your toes over toward your extended right hand and lift your left shoulder so your whole body now is turning. It's not a twist, it's a turning in the direction that the feet are going. And you're trying to get your feet as close to the mat while still engaging, while still really using the right shoulder to keep the feet from the floor, keep the feet from the floor, and now release all the way down. Very good. One more time. Take your feet back to the center position. Extend your left arm out. Take your right palm to the torso. Lift your feet up. Engage your legs by spreading the toes. Now allow your right shoulder to lift as your feet start drawing over toward the left arm. Press your palm firmly down. Go slow. Use this as a way to really strengthen your core muscles while getting this nice alignment that supine poses give you. Draw your feet closer to the earth, closer yet, even closer. Now release them down. All right, and come back to lie on your belly. So roll over, come to that Sphinx pose we were in. So we did a lot of shoulder work there. Now, just by pressing that extended arm, just allow for a nice opening of the upper chest. And let's feel that in the Sphinx pose as you press your forearms down, pull your elbows toward your feet, reach your heart forward, just open up nicely. And hopefully you see quite a difference there. Your core was engaged, your shoulders were working hard. Tuck your toes under, lift yourself up to come to a plank position. And hopefully you find it a little bit easier after those actions. And slowly lower your knees down. Take your hands right alongside your ribs. Inhale, baby cobra. Reach your elbows back and hug them in toward each other. And come back to downward facing dog, or of course, pose of your choice. Puppy dog, half dog, child's pose, whatever it is, where you can just pause and just kind of assimilate these actions that we've done to really bring a little bit more openness to the shoulders. Come to a plank position again. Lower yourself down to the mat. When we're on our belly, we'll be doing a variation of gomukasana. I'll just show you so that when you're on your belly, you don't have to strain your neck here to see. So on our bellies, we'll be taking one arm up as if we're trying to catch the opposite arm and then do the opposite. We'll just kind of reach back as if we're going into this pose. So this is the action we'll be doing. Usually we do this with a strap. We're doing it without a strap. And I'm going really fast. We'll be going a lot slower. So on your belly with your forehead pressing down. And once again, because the sound gets all garbled, I'm not going to be pressing my head, but your head should be pressing down. Start with your right hand, right elbow up, palm facing down, right between the shoulders. Left hand in your behind your back there, palm facing up. Get your hands off your back, not resting on the back. And change sides. So now the left palm is facing down right between the shoulders. The right palm is open and lifting up toward the shoulders. And change again. Right palm is down. Left palm is lifted. You're lifting the hands away from the back. And again, left palm down, right palm up, and right palm down, left palm up. One more time. Left palm down, right palm up, and release back to downward facing dog just as a transition to make your way to the front of the mat. So as you come to the front of the mat, we'll all meet in Tadasana. So pause there. Receive a nice in-breath and out-breath. And see as you just take your attention to the breath, how the shoulder work just allows this nice opening to the upper chest. You feel it in the breath. And that fullness in the breath creates this nice feeling of an uncluttered mind. You feel very fully engaged in your practice. So keeping that awareness, step wide on your mat. And in your wide stance, turn your right toes out. Bend your right knee as if going in Veerabhadrasana 2. Take your right hand as if you're going to slip it into your back pocket, but have the palm facing out. So you're just slipping this hand into this imaginary back pocket. Now draw your elbow down. So your hand is still in the pocket, your elbow is down. You're just kind of resting your elbow there. Take the head of the left arm bone back. Reach your left arm up. It's a nice shoulder opener. It's a nice hip opener. Just open yourself up in this nice version of Parsvakonasana. Root down to inhale, lift yourself up. Come to the other side. So turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out, and in the same way, so the palm, the back of the hand, is slipping into the pocket. The palm is facing out. You're bending your knee to come to the form of Veerabhadrasana 2, but you're taking the elbow down. You can either park it on your thigh or not. Reach your right arm up. Get a nice spread to the fingers. Open your chest really nicely. So it's as if we're kind of still working on those gomukasana arm movements that we were doing when we were on our belly. Root down through the back leg to inhale and rise up. Exhale, release your hands. Let's come to just one more arm variation. As we come to the mat, reach your right leg out. Have your left foot in front of you. Reach your right hand pretty far away so that when we lift our hips up, your shoulder is not right over the wrist. We don't want that. See if you can extend it quite far away as you just rely on the power of the straight leg. Inhale. As you inhale, you can lift it up, reach your arm up. And again, look at your wrist crease. It should not be right under your shoulders. Now reach your arm over and reach it up. Now let's combine a little bit more movement with the hip. So draw the pelvis down, reach your pelvis up and over, and come down, draw down, reach up, almost like you're creating a C. You're trying to get the pelvis to lift with the power of that front foot. And one more time, draw down and reach up and over and release down. Let's come to work the opposite side. So you know the drill. Now straighten the bottom leg. Take the top foot in front of you. Place your hand a giant step forward so that you've got the right angle when you lift up. Inhale, lift yourself up, lift your arm up, and reach it over. Good. Try to get as much length of the side body as possible. Exhale, draw down. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, down. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, down. One more. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, down. All right. Lots of work there. Let's come to Dandasana with your feet forward. And as you extend your feet forward, use your hands to kind of prop the spine up so that you're as elongated as you could be in this pose. Bend your left knee and park your foot. So as you park your foot, twist towards your bent leg. Do the cactus pose that we've been doing. Just twist there and come back. And again, twist and come back and twist. Now, see about taking your elbow just to the outside of the knee. See if that works for you. Just keep this nice opening. Maybe even taking your hands in a prayer position, but can you take your hands in a prayer position without using your knee to wedge you? Can you still stay nice and tall with the legs still engaged, with the knee still hugging into the midline? Sometimes we can do that. Sometimes we need the elbow and knee to be right together for that position. Release your leg, bend your right knee. Now, the right foot is pulling in, and the left leg is really creating that stability in the pelvis for you. So, as you lift yourself up, you can use your hands to get a nice elongated spine. Take your hands in this cactus pose again, twist, and come back, and twist again, and come back, and twist again. Stay in the twist and see about taking the hands, maybe the elbow can tuck to the outer knee. So you're going a little further in the pose and take your hands in this prayer pose. Now, see if you can stay in the prayer pose without the elbow tucked by the knee. Keep your right foot pulling in. Keep your left leg really firmly grounded so that you can start to sit more forward on your sit bones. Keep a nice elongation from the pelvis all the way to the crown of the head. So the legs have to be really active to keep you in this twist without anchoring the elbow to the knee. And release yourself out of the twist and come to lie on your back. And as you lie on your back, just pause there for a moment. Lie on your back. Let's do a little hip work by taking your left ankle to the outer right knee. Just pause there. Reach your left knee away from your face. So we're not trying to go deeper yet. We're just trying to just see how all of this feels for us. If you'd like to, you can draw your right thigh closer to you and interlace your fingers or take your strap behind the thigh. But if that was plenty of stretch without your lifting your foot off the mat, then please just stay right there. So you're still doing that same action we started before we were holding onto the leg, which is to take the thigh, the left thigh back, to take the left knee away. Imagine that you're lifting your left ankle off the right knee. So that leg is really engaged so that you can bring the top of the left thigh back even further. So that foot has to be really active to pretend like the ankle is going to lift away from the thigh. You can release now, release your feet to the earth and pause here with your elbows pressing down, with the palms facing one another, with the heels hugging in toward the pelvis so that you get this nice lumbar curve. Lift your pelvis up. When you think of yoga practice as a way to unclutter your mind, to just bring all your attention to your body, it's a very liberating feeling, kind of like uncluttering your home. When you take stuff out that's no longer useful, just like thoughts that are no longer useful, you feel the spaciousness in your own home. Slowly release your pelvis down and park your right ankle to the outer left knee. Release your arms down. Just pause here. Just kind of feeling each step of the way just allows you to go so much deeper. So keep that action of the knee drawing away from you and pretend that the ankle is trying to lift away from the knee. Now try to keep all those actions as you lift the left thigh towards you, interlace your fingers. Veerabhadrasana, this pose is called. Keep that action and notice as the mind becomes uncluttered with the daily activities of life, you start to take your attention to like what's going on in the body. And in this pose, like, can you discern the difference between this side and the other side? And what is that difference? And where is that muscle that you're feeling? And what's happening to your breath during all of this? You just attune more and more fully in the practice. And release your feet down. And once again, with your feet planted before you lift up, see how you can engage fully. Pull the heels in so you get this nice lift of the chest, nice engagement of your hamstrings. Reach your triceps down, your elbows plant nicely. Spread your fingers. So you're preparing yourself so fully so that when you finally lift off, it's so easy. It's just so accessible. Open your chest, press your head back, get this nice fullness in the upper chest. Keep a nice awareness to the breath. Breathe in deep. Breathe out long. And slowly take your pelvis down, bring your knees up to your hands. Just press the palms of your hands to your kneecaps. Spread your toes. Nice dorsiflexion of the feet so your toes are drawing toward your knees. Now, as your knees are pressed by the hands, see if you can draw as if you're trying to grow your kneecaps right into the palms of the hands. You're really growing your thigh bones to reach the kneecaps to the hands. Now press back with the hands. So you get the strong engagement of those muscles that support the spine. You feel the lumbar spine really toning nicely. You want to keep that tone as you release your hands and extend your legs. Can you still keep that tone just for a moment before going to Shavasana? So you keep the nice natural curves of the spine. And now as you just relax into Shavasana, you let your arms be completely supported by the earth, the legs too. You close your eyes. You assimilate your awareness to different shoulder actions that we did, a different way of engaging your core muscles when we are lying down. Let the weight that your arms and your legs carry be fully supported by the earth. Allow your breath to feel very free and natural. Your neck and your facial muscles very soft. We feel this spaciousness, this freedom. The yoga practice gives us. Enjoy this time in Shavasana. Namaste.